This is Taiwan Talk.
This is Taiwan Talk on ICRT.
I'm here on the phone with Mr. Mark Sinclair. You're based in Tainan, is that right?
That's right, yes.
And you have a new website. You and a couple of partners have released a website called Life of Taiwan.
That's right, inspired by Ang Lee's movie Life of Pi.
Okay.
So we decided that we would play on the word Life of Pi and create lifeoftaiwan.com, which is a website that we're hoping will help people to understand better the unique and beautiful culture of Taiwan and its people.
Do you feel that Taiwan is a bit behind when it comes to promoting itself or putting itself out there? They haven't really done as good a job as they could have.
I think you're right, and I think that it's not for not trying. I think that sometimes when you're very close to something and you own it, it's hard to package it and sell it. And I think that the angle that the Tourism Bureau have gone for is very much selling the cities and selling night markets, whereas I think to the Western, and that probably works very well for the Asian audience, for the Singapore, Japanese, China, Hong Kong. I think for the Western audience, I think there will be more value in promoting the culture. You know, the fact that this is, I like to describe it as ancient Chinese culture and a thriving democracy.
Right.
You've got that great contrast of, you know, a culture that hasn't been affected by the Cultural Revolution, a culture that is very, very traditional and conservative in many ways.
Yes.
Yet it's you know, it's in this freedom. There's freedom of speech. There's democracy. So that's a very interesting contrast, a very unique one. And I think that to the Western audience, if you can portray the cultural side, the temples, the religion, I think Taiwan is one of the most spiritually active places in the world. And
interesting.
I think it's very attractive for people to, if they knew about that, they would come. And there's the Aboriginal culture, there's the mountains, there's the wildlife, there's the beaches, and I think a lot of that stuff is the stuff that will resonate with the Western market in the U.S. and Europe more so than, you know, the night markets or Ilingi, you know, which is a lot of that's used a lot to promote Taiwan. So I think the branding can be tweaked somewhat.
Right, and I guess you're going to have to sort of tell more stories about Taiwan. Because otherwise, you know, a temple, just the name and the fact that it was built in, you know, XX year, that doesn't really have any attraction, right? You're going to have to kind of interpret the culture for these Western visitors.
You're right, and I think that, to me, it's not necessarily about a certain temple or why people go to that temple. I think it's more about the fact that no major decision in Taiwan is made without visiting the temple, you know, and without the traditions and customs that are so alive in this culture.
It's true. I've noticed that your website, I visited a couple days ago, is filled with just dozens of gorgeous images. Where did you get those pictures?
Those pictures are all from Richard, who is an amazing photographer, and it's kind of funny because I get so many compliments for the website, and it's a bit embarrassing because I didn't really do much apart from I knew that Rich has just got this amazing eye for photography, and he's very interested in he just takes really rich, vivid pictures. And then I've got my other friend, Steve, who is an amazing writer about Taiwan, he's written books, he's been published about Taiwan, so I just called the guys together and I said, Rich, with your pictures, and Steve, with your knowledge, you know, we can make a really, really nice website. Would you guys be interested in doing that? And they were. And so we put it together, and it was the design company, it was a UK company that put the design together, and we tried to have an ethic and ethos of like just very, very simple. So the pictures are there to stand out, and then the words are there to like sit back and be gently seen. And the combination has made it a really aesthetically pleasing website to look at. And there's no advertising on it.
It's very clean.
That's right. It's very clean, and people are writing in and they're saying, you know, they really appreciate the site. And so it's gone down well, and I put it down to the amazing photography. So, yeah, Richard Matheson is a brilliant photographer.
Thanks for tuning into Taiwan Talk. Check in tomorrow for more about life of Taiwan. Reporting for ICRT, I'm Eric Smith.
This is Taiwan Talk.
This is Taiwan Talk on ICRT.
I'm Eric Smith, and welcome to Taiwan Talk. Today, I'm continuing a conversation with Mark Sinclair, a Tainan-based expat who, together with a team of friends, has created a new website called Life of Taiwan. Not long ago, you had a feature in the Taipei Times, and in that feature, you mentioned about how, as long-term residents of Taiwan, we kind of take it for granted how easy it is to get around. We know the roads. We're comfortable, exploring. But for a person who's just come in off the boat or off the plane, it isn't that easy, is it?
It's not. It really isn't. And the point I made in the article was, I arrived on this island by myself at the age of 18, 25 years ago, and it was scary. It was scary then, and I don't honestly think that there's that much difference today than then. If I was to arrive, it's not like Thailand. In Thailand, I always say like a 7-year-old could travel Thailand. The services are just built, and it's very simple to get around, and you get to a place, and they introduce you to how to get to the next place, and get to the next place, and someone picks you up. You just someone holds your hand the whole way around. And I think in Taiwan, if you were to come here, if you were just to arrive at the airport and say, okay, what am I going to do now? I think finding out what to do and where you were going to go would still be quite a challenge.
Right, and that's not just because we don't have adequate signage or enough English everywhere. It's almost like a fundamental issue with not thinking in terms of tourists. Is that what you mean?
I think so, but in many ways, Eric, this is part of the charm, isn't it? I mean,
it's true. That's true.
Yeah, when people go traveling, they want to experience and have an adventure. So, I mean, to arrive in a country where there is very limited English, and it's quite hard to get around. There's an element of adventure and fun in that. At the same time, you need to make sure that people feel comfortable enough that they would actually fly here and take that adventure. So you need to make sure that the appeal is there and that the basics are in place, I guess.
It may be that Taiwan is just sort of a little bit late to the game because back, 20, 30 years ago, I don't think Taiwan saw itself as a tourist destination.
And that works both ways, because not only did Taiwan not see itself as a tourist destination, it wasn't perceived as a tourist destination in the global market, was it? So, if you imagine when you were a child, your image of Taiwan would have been plastic goods,
right?
As Japan was 50 years before that. And so that's what I'm talking about, the rebrand. And I think in a lot of people's minds it would be like, Taiwan, I've heard of it, I'm not exactly sure where it is. And if you can say to people, well, this is actually an incredible island, the third highest island mountains in the world, blown up out of the Pacific Ocean, sitting right there, but under Japan, above the Philippines, people will be like, oh, well, that sounds nice. And then that's your lead in to describe then you've got this incredible topography. And on top of that, you've got this incredible culture that's grown on there that's also very unique in its mix, and it's a little melting pot of its own, isn't it?
Yes, it really is.
And the one thing that's really working for Taiwan is that the people are just amazing, and they really are. And that sounds cheesy, but any of my friends or relatives or whoever comes to visit Taiwan, they leave here thinking, what an amazing place, what lovely people. So word of mouth will get out, and Taiwan sells itself to people once they get here. But they need a relative or they need a friend or they need a start to actually get through oh my God, there's no English, I can't speak to people.
Right.
To get through, which is, of course, is getting better. I mean, the Taiwanese have invested lots and lots of money in their children's English and their own English. It is getting better. A lot of it is a confidence issue.
Yes.
It's not like people in Thailand can speak English, but they're prepared to say, have, go. They're prepared to say the few sentences and words that get people around. So.
Right, and of course the Taiwanese, the majority of them are not relying on tourists for their income, so there's a bit of a difference in their needs, right?
That's correct, and you're absolutely right. Those people in Thailand, that's their business, so they learn every day and they're interacting every day to get the essentials down. As you say, I mean, one of the great things about anyone that comes to Taiwan, they won't feel they're ever being cheated, they won't feel they're ever unsafe. You know, is that they
Right.
will just feel the warmth of the Taiwanese people as they travel around. So that will snowball as people come here, have pleasant experiences, and tell their friends about it, and then more people will come. I think Taiwan has very, very few unsatisfied international guests. And the other aspect that the Tourism Bureau can look at is there's a lot of business people come into Taiwan, and they have positive experiences as well. They come to a 2 or 3 day show. Those people can be persuaded to stay for another 2 or 3 days or come back with their families. I think that's an area that the government can look at.
Interesting.
People that have come here, they've touched down, they've had a pleasant experience, they realize it's safe, it's vibrant, it's a very healthy culture and society, and then, next time bring your family.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great suggestion. All right, so the website is www.lifeoftaiwan.com.
That's right.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for helping promote Taiwan as a one long-term resident to another. 谢谢.
Oh, good. Anybody that can go to the website, please give us your feedback. Eric, thank you for your time, and best of luck with everything.
Reporting for ICRT's Taiwan Talk, I'm Eric Smith.